In the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean lies an imaginary boundary. If you draw a line connecting Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, you map out a massive expanse of water. Over the decades, this specific area has earned a reputation as a maritime black hole, a place where commercial aircraft and massive cargo ships seem to vanish into thin air. The most chilling detail in many of these cases isn't the disappearance itself, it's the total silence. Crews go missing without ever broadcasting a radio call or sending a single distress signal. When ships and planes leave behind no wreckage, no survivors, and no data, they leave behind an absolute void of physical evidence. And human psychology naturally fills that kind of informational vacuum with theories. The catalyst for those theories traces back to December 5, 1945. 5 U.S. Navy bombers, collectively known as Flight 19, took off on what was supposed to be a highly controlled, routine training mission. The skies were clear at takeoff, but midway through the exercise, the flight leader radioed the control tower, reporting that they were entering what he called whitewater, and that everything looked completely wrong. The pilots reported a catastrophic failure of their navigation equipment. In his final, confused transmission, the commander made a terrifying admission. His compass was spinning, and he could no longer find west. Soon after that final message, the radio went completely dead. A massive, heavily equipped Martin Mariner flying boat was immediately dispatched to rescue the stranded men. Within hours, that rescue plane vanished as well. By the end of the day, 14 men and 6 aircraft were gone. Extensive search operations recovered 0 wreckage and 0 bodies. The inexplicable loss of a highly trained military squadron provided the perfect foundation. With no physical remains and no official explanation, the legend of the Bermuda Triangle firmly took root. Without a clear cause for the loss of Flight 19, investigators initially turned to invisible but entirely natural phenomena to explain the disappearances. One early hypothesis focused on magnetic anomalies. The idea was that unusual local variations in the Earth's magnetic field could heavily skew a compass, effectively blinding a pilot and sending them miles off course over open ocean. To explain how massive cargo ships could sink instantly without calling for help, scientists pointed to the ocean floor. Extensive pressurized methane pockets are trapped deep beneath the seabed in this region. If a seismic event triggers a sudden eruption, that gas violently rushes to the surface. This massive bubble plume drastically lowers the density of the water above it. A ship passing overhead instantly loses its buoyancy, dropping straight down into the ocean in a matter of seconds. While these geological mechanics are scientifically plausible, researchers have never been able to definitively link them to every missing vessel. That lack of testable proof left the door wide open for wilder speculation. As the sheer volume of missing ships and planes grew in the public consciousness, patience for cautious scientific hypotheses faded. The public began rejecting standard science in favor of the spectacular. Some researchers proposed that the lost city of Atlantis rested right beneath the triangle. They argued that ancient, submerged energy crystals were sending out powerful waves, disrupting modern navigation systems, and even distorting time itself. Other explanations pushed further, suggesting that extraterrestrial bases were hidden under the waves, actively interfering with human travel. This was heavily fueled by conspiracy theorists claiming the U.S. Navy was purposefully hiding classified reports about these encounters. During the 1970s, paperbacks and documentaries repackaged these fringe claims into a profitable media franchise, turning a standard shipping lane into a global pop culture phenomenon. This shift in public perception reveals an appetite for mystery that prioritized spectacular fiction over mundane reality. The transition from myth back to reality comes down to hard data. When marine insurance companies examine the documented statistical rate of maritime and aviation accidents inside the triangle, a clear picture emerges. This chart shows the accident rate within the Bermuda Triangle compared directly against standard global shipping lanes. It reveals that the percentage of ships that sink or planes that crash here is virtually identical to any other major body of water on Earth. To understand why the total number of accidents seems so high, we have to look at the geography. The area stretching between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico is one of the most heavily trafficked maritime corridors on the planet, packed with daily commercial, military, and private travel. In a high-traffic zone, the absolute number of accidents will naturally be higher than in a quiet corner of the sea. When storytellers isolate these individual tragedies and strip away the statistical context of that massive traffic volume, they create the illusion of a pattern. The Bermuda Triangle is a masterclass in media manipulation, a legendary monster created by stitching together normal statistical tragedies to sell a story. It proves that the most dangerous thing in the ocean is the power of the human imagination.